change, but I decided to be brave and make the switch to LinkedIn Creator Mode. Here's what Creator Mode means for you, both the pros and the cons, why I made the switch, and how I did it. The doing part is actually easy. Hey, I'm Brooke Miles, and welcome back to another video where I teach you how to create a small business social media program that's easy to run, that gets results, and that you can be proud of. So what is Creator Mode on LinkedIn? If you create a lot of your own content that you share on LinkedIn, whether you post a lot of LinkedIn updates or write long-form articles or create videos, Creator Mode is a way of reorganizing your profile so your content is more front and center, and I'll show you exactly what that looks like. Also in Creator Mode, the functionality changes just a little bit, so people who come to your profile are more likely to be prompted to follow you and your content than to connect with you personally. And again, I'll show you what that looks like. So with that said, the big question I had to ask myself was, what was more important to me? Getting more people to follow me and my content, or getting more people to connect and network with me as I've been doing for the last decade on LinkedIn? And before you make the switch, I strongly encourage you to ask yourself the same question. For me, I spent a lot of time creating content, especially my videos. Love you! That wasn't sarcastic. It sounded sarcastic, but it wasn't. I really appreciate you. But anyway, I spend a lot of time creating content and I want more people to see it. On the other hand, when I'm connected to someone on LinkedIn, that means that we can message each other. It also means that we can get notified of each other's work anniversaries and birthdays and new job positions started and all that stuff. And it also means that I may see their content in my newsfeed in addition to them possibly seeing my content in their newsfeed. So followers or connections? That's like choosing between Netflix and chilled and peanut butter half-baked. So here are the differences between Creator Mode and a normal profile, and a couple of these differences are what pushed me over the edge to get me to Creator Mode. Let's start with topics. You'll see that in Creator Mode, you can list the topics you want to be associated with in the form of hashtags just underneath your headline. And as easy as a task as it is to add hashtags when you turn on Creator Mode, I managed to mess it up the first time and had double hashtags on some of the listings. I'll show you what I did. I had to go back and fix it. Anyway, you won't make the same mistake I did. I will say having the hashtags there is pretty nice. Maybe it helps the LinkedIn algorithm to show up in certain search results, but it isn't what pushed me over the edge. Now let's look at the listing of your number of followers. In a normal profile, LinkedIn will just list at the top how many connections you have in the form of 500 plus, and a visitor to your profile would have to dig down farther to see how many actual followers you have. But when you're in Creator Mode, LinkedIn makes your follower count front and center. I will tell you the number of followers you have, and this is on LinkedIn and really any other social media platform, it's really just a vanity metric to make us feel better about ourselves. So it's nice to have it, but I don't think it's necessary. But one of the big things I did consider was the follow button. In a normal profile, you see a connect button here, but in Creator Mode, you see a follow button. And again, this is to encourage people to follow you and your content rather than connect with you personally. Now, I will say if someone really wants to connect with you, they still can. They just need to know to press the More button, then Connect from the drop-down menu. So I really thought about this, and here are the pros and cons of the follow button. Pros of the follow button. Number one, word on the street is that when you have the follow button, way fewer people are going to try to connect with you to sell to you. And I know there are a lot of you watching right now that is like, that's it. You're convinced. Let's do the follow button. But here's more to consider. Another pro is that theoretically, you should build your following more quickly because it's easier for someone to click on follow to follow your content than to click the connect button to connect with you personally. And I don't know why I keep on doing this when I want to say connect personally. It just feels right. Moving along, there are a couple cons of having a follow button. The first one being you're going to build your network of connections more slowly because it's going to be harder for people to connect with you. And it is very helpful to have a large network of connections so you show up in more LinkedIn searches, and actually you also get more search results when you do LinkedIn searches. The other con is that some people who really do have the right reasons to connect with you might not figure out how to do it. So in the end for me, regarding the follow button, since I already have 4,000 plus connections and I can still reach out to connect with people, and I think most people would figure out how to connect with me if they want to, the pros outweigh the cons. But wait, there's more. There are more changes to Creator Mode. Let's look at the featured and activity sections in Creator Mode. So in a normal profile, you'll see the About section, then the Featured section, then the Activity section. In Creator Mode, the Featured section comes first, then Activity, then About. And the featured section is where you can showcase a lot of your content. On my profile, I showcase my YouTube videos because they're my priority and they're my proud babies. And the activity section is not only higher up, but it's enhanced. A normal profile will just list your 4 most recent activities. And those activities include if you click like on someone else's post. In creator mode, instead of 4 activities, you have 6 activities listed, but it's only your own content or the content you choose to share that gets listed there. In other words, in creator mode, the activity section isn't cluttered with every single bit of engagement you do on other people's posts. And honestly, I think it's clutter on everyone's profiles. I wish this aspect of creator mode could apply to everyone. There's also an enhancement in creator mode with LinkedIn Live. If you're a LinkedIn Live broadcaster in creator mode, your profile background will now show your live broadcast when you start streaming. Now, I've been approved by LinkedIn for live broadcasting, but if you've watched my other videos, you know I'm a nervous wreck in live broadcast situations, so I'm just gonna stay in my comfort zone. And yes, I know the magic happens outside of your comfort zone. I just need time. So here's how to turn on creator mode. Go to your profile and scroll just a little bit down to your dashboard. Look for the line item about creator mode in your dashboard. It should be at the top, and click on it. So on this next screen, LinkedIn will pretty much tell you everything I just told you, although I think my version is a little bit more enthusiastic. So you can skip reading this and press next. Now add your topics, and you can enter up to 5, but just type in the word or word phrase, not the hashtag, because if you do, you'll end up having what happened to me, which is double hashtags in my first attempt, and then I had to go back and fix it. Anyway, when you're done, press save. And by the way, the biggest thing that pushed me over the edge with creator mode is that this isn't a life or death decision. And at any time, I can turn creator mode off. So it made sense to give it a try. Now that you know the ins and outs of LinkedIn creator mode, your next step is to learn the ins and outs of content creation by creating the easiest content calendar ever. So watch this video in the top right corner. You're gonna learn how to plan your content in a way that saves a huge amount of time. Thanks, and see you in the next video.